sometimes helping the homeless can be difficult. And a lot of people, because of the difficulties of helping the homeless, have stopped helping the homeless because they don't really understand a lot of what's going on. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to help you understand and navigate the difficulties that you may have with a homeless person so that you can better assist them and better help them in getting out of the situation that they're in. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that homelessness starts up here. It could be anything from personality defects to situational issues, such as, a trauma-related experience. There's a lot of different reasons why people end up homeless. There's a lot of common traits that if you sit back and you observe long enough, that you can see that are kind of like what most people would call red flags, but key indicators that will let you know the stage of homelessness a person is in, and what the real obstacles that they are facing. So the first thing is, let me give you an example. I've done this for a few people, where I've seen some people that were like, okay, they're gonna go homeless. I see the backslide, and it becomes difficult. Sometimes when a person gets to a point where they're losing everything, they kind of tend to snap up here. And what ends up happening is they get a sense of entitlement. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, everybody should help me. Oh, where's all this kindness? Where's all this other stuff? And then what that does is, because they're not getting what they think that they deserve, that they think that they should be getting, because I'm a good person, I shouldn't be homeless. Well, being homeless has nothing to do with whether or not you're a good person. It has a lot to do with decisions that you make. It has a lot to do with the bad personality traits that you pick up along the way in life. And entitlement is one of those things. Another thing is, and this is something that frustrates me, because you'll see this a lot within the homeless community, is you will go and you will help them, but then they will sit there and take your charity, but then be hateful or aggressive towards you in some form or fashion, as if not only did you have to give them what you gave them, but they thought that they deserved more, because they see you as whatever. And this can be very trying. This could also jade you to a point where you don't really want to help the homeless. But see, that is part of what put this person out there. Because the thing is, they became entitled. So a family member or a friend steps in and says, I want to help you. But they're like, okay, I'll take your help. But then they sit there and they mope in the situation because they feel bad about the things that are going on. And then after a while, they start biting the hand that feeds them, as the cliche says. And they start going, well, you know what, I don't deserve this. You need to be this, and da 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 da. Every homeless person who becomes homeless ends up going through this process, and what it ends up doing is it ends up burning bridges. And as they're burning those bridges because of, whether it be the situation and just kind of having a psychotic break or a huge reality check, because something that they thought would never happen to them, because they're not a drug addict, they're not lazy, they love to work, all these good things, I should never be homeless. Well, things happen, economics happen, injuries happen, life happens, and that puts them out here. And so therefore, in all of this negativity, because what ends up happening is, in their mind, it's a lot like a PTSD cycle, where you just keep reliving it over and over and over again. It causes anxiety, it causes stress, it causes depression. And so therefore, in all of that is the crux behind the retaliation that these people are doing. Not because they necessarily hate you, or because they feel they feel this way or that way towards you, but it's more or less they are angry at their situation because they don't think that they should be there. They have not gotten to a point where they can accept their homelessness. Because the thing is, so many people come out and become homeless and refuse to accept the fact that they are homeless, and that it's time to turn a new page in life. It's time to turn a new leaf over. So over time, these people end up burning all of their bridges, to the point where they come out on the streets. And then you as an individual, you're coming across them and they're still in that same mental state. They might be a little bit more broken down. They might be a little bit more eroded as far as like, because, the nerves of sleeping outside and, especially your first time and how unsettling it can be. I mean, that's a nice way to put it for an individual. Okay, so when you come across a person like this, how do you help them? What can you do that will actually help them? See, what you want to do is you want to sit there and get to know the individual, because as you get to talk to them, certain traits, certain things that they say will start to pop out at you, especially the more that you get to deal with it, the more you see it, because it's almost like you can spot it from a mile away. After a while, it's like, oh man, here we go again. But the thing is getting to know the homeless person and really understanding what it is that is putting them there, because it's not necessarily a money issue. It's not necessarily an economics issue. It's not necessarily a drug issue or a mental health issue. And a majority of the time, it's just the situation brings them down to a point to where they're breaking down. Okay, so my advice is in order to help these people, is to once you get to know them, help them accept their homelessness. Being homeless is not a bad thing. Being homeless is a life's hardest lesson that it's teaching you, because you were given many opportunities when you were housed to learn these lessons, but yet you refused to learn those lessons. And now, because you refuse to learn those lessons, you are now on the streets. And this is where you have an opportunity to grow, to turn over a new leaf, to become a better person, to understand what you're doing that's destroying the things that you care about most, because you may not realize how self-destructive your behavior is. And by being able to sit back and have conversations and maybe even a little bit of advice and mentorship, everybody's going to be a little bit testy. Some people don't want to hear the truth. And, well, if they don't want to hear the truth, don't waste your time on them. The thing is, if you're going to help a homeless person, you got to help those that want to be helped. You can want to help everybody that out there, and you may think that nobody should be homeless. But homelessness, like I said, is a result of you not listening to all the warning signs that was going to put you homeless to begin with, because you're burning your bridges, you have behavior that is very abrasive to those that you communicate with, you want to create more drama and chaos around you, because the chaos and the drama gives you the satisfaction of going, okay, well, I guess this is why I'm here, is because these people are this way, versus realizing that your self-destructive behavior is actually creating this chaos. So if you really want to help a homeless person, again, it's not necessarily about giving them money. It's not necessarily about giving them resources. Although, yes, we could use a little bit of money. Yes, we could use a little bit of resources. But if you really want to make a big impact, it's about being able to sit there and have a conversation and understand where the problems are, where their self-destructive behavior is, so that you can help them if they really want the help, to correct those things. Because even the people that I've helped out, some of them, they don't want to hear it. And instead of sitting back and listening, what they're too busy doing is now looking for other ways to nitpick, because, it's like it becomes a competition of, well, you did this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and you're going to do this and da 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 da. Instead of realizing that, when you're on somebody else's dime, when you rely on somebody else's charity, at some point in time, you've got to give up a little bit of your own control, and you've also got to learn how to be able to be polite and deal with people, even if you do not like them or you have a personality conflict with them. And if you are trying to bring harmony, a lot of times that will end up fixing a lot of the problems that you have with this individual to begin with. But the thing is most people are so bent on their ego. No, you can't tell me that I'm entitled, or that I'm ungrateful, or that I'm this or I'm that, that they refuse to reflect and to look within. And instead of actually listening to the warning signs that are being given to them, they're too busy going out there and going, well, you say this about me, well, you. And all it does is it just creates animosity. Somebody's trying to tell you, like, hey, what you're doing, it's pushing me away. And if you value these relationships, because that is the only way that you're ever going to survive in this life, is with relationships. Okay, so I hope that this helped you guys understand a little bit better ways to overcome some of the obstacles that you may have had with the homeless, or that you may have in the future with homeless, if you decide that you want to go out there and be a good Samaritan and help a homeless person. Okay, if you find this information valuable, please leave something down in my tip jar. This is all crowdfunded. This is how I'm able to create this resource for the homeless and those that are about to be homeless. Otherwise, come on over to Patreon and enjoy one of my many membership tiers. Thanks for being here, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video.